Hello everybody and welcome back to Evolving Vibes, the community for witches, pagans, spiritualists, and everybody in between. So for today's video, we're going to be going to Salem, Mass to check out Haunted Happenings. And be sure to stick around to the very end of the video because there is a sign there from an enterprising family that I just want you to see. I'm not sure if they get any money from the sign that they put up there, but definitely when you see it, you'll know exactly which one I am talking about. So I will see you on the other side of that camera. Hello everybody, it is a gorgeous day for a drive. It's like in the 50s and 60s here in Massachusetts, and I am about to embark upon my journey going over to Salem, Massachusetts. I can't wait to bring you along with me. Too bad you're not in the car because we could have a lot of fun. But you'll be in my heart and in my mind anyway. So I'll see you in just a little bit when we get to Salem. Alright folks, we just arrived in Salem and it wouldn't be Salem stop without actually checking out Samantha from Bewitched. Hopefully you can hear me because we do have a competing conversation going on. But this is Bewitched, Samantha. So welcome to Salem and we'll see you in just a little bit at some other sites.
Tourism started to grow in Salem. There were lots of fake witch things.
So as you probably guessed, there's tons and tons and tons of people around, which is really awesome. The energy is absolutely outstanding. There we go. We have a street performing witch right on over here, complete with cackle. And of course we have Michael Myers.
Yeah, that's why he dresses up so people have money on you.
And that's just an awesome pick, right? Poor dog. And we have the Monster Museum. And some more street performers. And down here is the old town hall, and actually that's been opened up in the past. I'm not sure if it's open now due to COVID, but it's been opened up in the past for psychic fairs and such. And I've actually done readings in there before at one of the psychic fairs, and it was absolutely outstanding. Between the amount of people coming through and the energy, it was absolutely awesome. Now I love cotton candy, but I'm not sure how I feel about this. So this is basically the center. It's like almost like an outdoor strip mall. It's where all the magic shops are and a lot of the commercial shops are. We're actually going to be going along and checking out some other sites, of course, but this is definitely cool to check out and to actually experience. So if you've never been to Salem, especially during Haunted Happenings or Halloween week, you definitely want to come on up because it's absolutely amazing and the energy is absolutely stunning. Where else are you going to find a saxophone playing demon? Oh, there's so many people. And it wouldn't be Massachusetts without the Red Sox and Jose. And right over here is the Salem Witch Museum. And it's basically been sold out for the past couple of days, so we won't be going in. But this is the museum that you actually see lit up at night. So I thought this was kind of cool. This is an old colonial house that was built in 1766, and that's still over 100 years after the Salem witch trials, if that puts things into perspective for you. And this right here is the John Ward House, and it was built in 1684. And what's really cool, if you can check out the windows and how they actually look, it's actually made with leaded glass, so there's actually lead in it. And if you really look up, you'll see how peaked the roof is. That was designed so the snow wouldn't hang out on the roof and cause problems for them. And you can probably see this chimney. Typically back in the day in the 1600s and 1700s, the chimney would be a big ass fireplace in the center of the house, and it would be used for cooking, for heating, and basically heating the whole house. So here's something I didn't know. The city of Salem, birthplace of the National Guard of the United States. That's pretty cool. So right here is the Salem Witch House. It's the only original structure still standing from the Salem witch trials. And actually the judge that presided over the Salem witch trials lived here. So it's kind of an interesting little find. This is just another shot of the witch house, the only still standing structure in Salem directly from that period. And I'm only doing this because I really want to show you the door as we go in. So hold on for a second. So when you look at the door going in, I'm going to get you a little bit closer until I get pulled out. You're going to see nails in that door, all through the door. So back in the 1600s, that was considered a sign of wealth because iron was very expensive. So you could afford iron nails or spikes and put them in your front door. That was an absolute sign that you were well-to-do, and almost like having a Bentley or a Mercedes in your driveway. Instead, you had nails in your door. So bear with me, folks. I am an architectural nerd. So what you're looking at is some really cool houses that were built. This was obviously a well-to-do section. And these are modern, these big houses right on over here. But check out this house right over here. Much more small. That's from the early 1700s, even before the Revolutionary War. And check out this house from 1823, the William Pickett mansion. And look how beautiful that is and how well done. And you may be hearing helicopters above me, so hopefully the mic cancels out that noise. But there's a lot of helicopters and such just zooming around, just taking pictures of all the crowds, I'm sure. Now, if you're wondering why all these houses are sideways on a major street, that's because this actually wasn't a street here. The street is actually, whoops, another vehicle passing, where that driveway is straight ahead. So this was actually the street. And the side of the houses are actually the front of the houses. We're going to see if we can't go down one of the streets to show you. So this is an old structure, 1735, well before the Revolutionary War. And this would have been the front of the house, and this would have been part of the street that actually it would have been on, versus being sideways on a main street. This yard has the most gorgeous flowers. Yeah, I do have ADHD, so just bear with me. This may or may not make it in the video, but look at these things. Aren't they freaking gorgeous? Ah, outstanding job. Yeah, so really, who doesn't want to live in an ivy-covered brick haunted mansion in Salem, Massachusetts, where the leaves turn colors during the autumn? Look at this. This is absolutely gorgeous. I'd have a hard time leaving home if I lived here. Well, I already have a hard time leaving home, but here we are. Isn't that amazing? I'm just going to go around the front so you can actually see the front of the house. So just bear with me. I may have to edit some of this out, who knows. But look at that front. Isn't that amazing? Ugh, beautiful. All right, so welcome to Trespassing with Brian. We're just going to step on his front steps because I want to show you something. You see that right there? And I'll show you another one. Right over here, that little bottom how it's flat. Those are actually boot cleaners. Back in the day, there would be no asphalt and tar, so it would be all mud. So whenever you went to someone's house, the first thing you would do outside is wipe your boots down with those boot cleaners to get all the mud and I imagine horse manure off your boots before going indoors. Wasn't that cool? So, remember I said ADHD? Fun fact, I get so tied up looking at the houses and recording all the houses that, oh, seriously? Oh, someone's getting pulled over. Well, I'm shutting off my camera before I get beat and maced. Talk to you. Literally, I am shutting the camera off and walking the hell away before I get beat and maced. So yeah, I'm not quite sure where I am, but I am away from that whole ordeal with the vehicle getting pulled over. And as I was walking, let me turn this over. So as I was walking, I did find the cemetery right over there. So yeah, of course we're gonna go visit the cemetery. See you over there. So right over here is the John Pickering house, or the Pickering house. It was built in 1660. Check out this house. And again, those peaked roofs to ward off the snow so they wouldn't collapse. And that's just a beautiful piece of property. So here is the burial ground. Began in 1655. One of the people that's actually buried here is George Corrin Jr., who died in 1696, and he was a Salem that was cursed during the Salem witch trials. Jonathan Corwin is also buried here, and he was the Salem witch trial judge. And so on and on and on. I'm not going to go continuously reading to you, but that's definitely cool. And here we are. Let's go up those stairs. So here we are entering the cemetery. You can see how old the gravestones are. And just going to walk around, and if anything pops that really is interesting, I'll put it on film. But if not, I'm just going to meander around. I'm sure I'm going to get some pictures of some videos of some headstones. So here are a couple of cool hand-carved headstones made out of slate that lasted all these years. The person was interned, if you will, in 1842. So these headstones are still going strong. These are all the Pickerings. The Pickering, that house that we saw, that's this guy's. They were kind of short back in the day. Here's a really cool example of an old New England headstone. So this person died at the age of 35 in 1792. Isn't that amazing? So right here is the Hawthorne Hotel, a very paranormal active hotel in the town. It's been said there are several ghosts within the hotel, and it's been definitely some ghost hunting experience here where they've gotten a lot of details and a lot of evidence. So we're walking along a much more subdued path. Still a lot of people, but not a lot of people. Where we're going, you're asking? I'm glad you asked. We're going to go over to the Salem Witches Memorial. So this is the memorial. I'm going to show you just one of the stones rather than all of them, but it gives the person's name. This is Bridget Bishop, and she was hanged June 10th, 1692. And as you can see, people leave offerings. And this is the old cemetery that I was telling you about. So this is John Proctor, and he was hanged August 1692. Now I'm not sure I mentioned it, but hey, let me mention it. It's in chronological order. So as we're going by, and again, here's another shot of the old cemetery, which I think we'll be able to sneak in just a little bit. But hey, anyway, squirrel. So as we're going by, each memorial that you see is chronologically in order. So that's August 19th. So this actually is September 19th. And we go a little bit further, and this one's really close to me because it's actually on my birthday, September 22nd, and that's Martha Corr. So she was hung September 22nd, 1692. So we're definitely going to be going into this cemetery, and just so you can see this little guy, got a little squirrel over here just hanging out eating. See if I can't get a better picture of him. There he is, right between the two stones. So over here is my spirit animal. You can see him right there. He's a squirrel hanging out on a headstone eating a nut. Pretty cool. So we finally made it in, and you can see the squirrel is still hanging out munching. I know, right? I'm just damn fascinated by that squirrel. Anyway, these are some of the older headstones. You can see how they faded off a bit. And we're just gonna walk along this way and check out some of the ones that are closest to us. Another example of an old stone. So this person was born in 1676 and he died in 1725. And the artwork on top, of course. And another angle of that I can't get on the grass. I already got spoken to about walking up to a headstone on the grass, so I have to stay on the path. So here's a really old stone, and it's William Hollingsworth. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Lyeth Hollingsworth, age 33, and she died in 1688. And here's Eleanor Hollingsworth. She is 59, and she died in 1689 in November, which is spelled with a U. And Mrs. Mary Hawthorne, she died in 1805. And as we head out the exit, here's a row again of the above ground graves or tombs. And again, the headstones, but you can definitely see how worn they are, so there's not much left of the writing. But we'll walk and just check them out as we walk, because they are kind of cool. I'm trying to stay ahead of my shadow. So this was actually put together in 1790. It's the tomb of Deacon William Gray in 1790. And this one is Fisk. And this one is Warnaway. I just had to put this up because the paramedic in me hates trampolines. And I think the mother heard me, so I'm just gonna walk away a little bit. That was a bit of an uncomfortable stare I got. Here's a cool little park where I can come right over here and ground myself just a little bit on the grass and show you this view right on over here. So back in the day, Salem was a really major port town, and so a lot of ships came in delivering spices, supplies, all those things. And so this is actually one of the areas where they would actually dock and come in. And as you can see, there's a replica ship right on over there that they actually do tours of. So yeah, we're going over here. I'm kind of a sucker for water, and I really haven't just chilled in Salem since I got here. I've just been walking around. So I'm going to take some time and just chill out over here by the water for a bit, ground myself, recharge my energy, and just get ready for the next adventure. So this is pretty much an example of the wharves. I don't know. Anyway, this is an example of what this looked like in the early 1800s, the area that we're looking at right now, and how busy it was, and how it was literally the standard for all transportation. So you can imagine how busy. Now I'm just going to turn the camera around, and behind me you can see some of the houses there. Now the one directly in front, right over there, that's actually the custom house. That's where everything would come through customs. And when I pan over to either side, those are all merchant homes, obviously well-to-do, and some even captain's homes. And a replica of one of the earlier ships. Just a closer view. You saw it a little bit earlier from far. Now, the fun fact is, the masts are all missing, but they're actually behind me on the ground as they're doing some work on the ship itself. And you already know I brought my grimoire and I brought my Book of Shadows / day planner with me to Salem for the trip. I figured they'd love to adventure as well. So I'm just letting them hang out and sun themselves and grab up the energy from Salem today. And I'm going to lean over and hopefully not fall in. But hopefully you can see the schools of fish that are just hanging out in the water. So clearly the grimoire, me, and the fish are going to hang out for a bit. So I'll see you at the next attraction. And that's a close-up of the U.S. Custom House here in Salem. And right over here is America's oldest candy company. And it's famous for its Gibraltars, which I've tried, which I kind of find nasty, and Blackjacks. But the Gibraltars and the Blackjacks have been in the making with this candy shop since 1806. And the candy shop is called Ye Olde Pepper Company. company with an IE, and it's been making candy since 1806 continuously. And here's something really cool. Right on over here is the house of the 7 Gables. And I'm not going to count the Gables for you. Trust me, there's 7 of them. But this was the house that Nathaniel Hawthorne's book was based upon. As a matter of fact, inside there, one of the artifacts that they actually do have is his writing desk and such. But this is the actual property. And just going to pan over through the yard. And again, the backyard, right on the water. And we'll move around so you get some other shots of the house. Here's another shot of the house of the Salem Gables. This is more of the side shop. Now, where that sign is, one fun fact, is they put in a penny store after the book was published. And the reason being, the original house of 7 Gables didn't have a penny store, which was part of the storyline of the book. So they actually put this in after the book, just so that it would be as accurate as the book was. But there you go, the house of the 7 Gables. And just another cool example of New England architecture. This house was built in 1771, and it's the Penn Townsend house. And he was a mariner. He worked on the ocean on ships. In case you didn't know what mariner meant. I don't know why he added that. But anyway, pretty cool looking house, eh? Here's another angle of the house. Look how narrow the houses were back then. And again, that central fireplace, because that was actually used for cooking as well as heating the whole house. So yeah, one more road example of a colonial structure. This was built in 1771. Now the reason I showed you this is because of this little storefront that you see right up front. What was really big back then was the husbands were either at sea or they were otherwise traveling. So the wives or mistresses of the home would actually operate a penny store within inside the home as a source of income, as well as keep them busy. But they would make their own crafts, make their own soaps, make their own candies, all that sort of thing, and offer that for sale, as well as other things, I'm sure. But that's where the idea of the penny store came from the house of the 7 Gables. It was based on what was actually happening in New England, and in this town in particular, back in the day. And Halloween decorations just hit differently when it's actually in Salem. Check out that guillotine, makes me want to lose my head. Sorry. And all the other things in their spooky little garden. He really outdid himself with the decorations. I love those bats. They're absolutely amazing. And the ghosts, the scarecrow, all sorts of fun stuff. But again, things just hit differently in Salem Halloween week. So another Salem landmark is the Bunghole liquor store. And people love to say I got it in the Bunghole. But the Bunghole liquor store has been in Salem forever, ever since I can remember anyway. And as you can see, there's even a line going into that. So yeah, I just had to show you this sign. Parking $485, toilet $37.95, what an odd number. And paper $5, which I'm kind of wondering if they mean toilet paper. So yeah, there's that. I'm not sure if you can hear the music, but there's a whole carnival over there. So yeah, you can definitely know for sure that I'm actually going to the carnival and I'm getting myself some carnival food. Talk to you in a little bit. Okay, so that was my Haunted Happenings video. Salem was absolutely outstanding. The weather was absolutely perfect. If you do go to Salem, one thing I would recommend is your very first stop, maybe even put it in your GPS, is the MBTA parking garage. Now, as I was driving up there, I ran across quite a few parking lots in areas that they're offering parking for $25 per day, $35 per day, $45 per day. However, I went to the MBTA parking garage and it was only $2. That's right, $2 for the day. So I strongly recommend making that your first stop. Park the car there, pay the $2, and enjoy the festivities, because it's really not much of a walk from the parking garage to where everything is happening. So I do hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you think, what you saw, what your experience might have been in Salem, if you've ever been. And if you've not been, are you planning on going? Long story short, I do hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure to like, subscribe, leave me that comment if you haven't already, and be sure to check out one of these 2 other videos that I'm popping up right now, because watching some more videos will certainly help grow the channel, and I look forward to seeing you in the very next video, which is going to be my overnight stay at the Conjuring House. So until then, be safe, be well, and as always, be blessed.